Hi everyone, it's Kate from the Fold Line. I am back this week with the edit. I hope you're well and had a lovely Easter weekend. And it's really nice. We've had a short week this week, so it's quite fun. It feels like we just kind of got started with the week and then it's over, which is always ace. So I've got some great patterns this week, including, if I start with the first one, which is from Fibermood, which is always exciting. So I guess this would be their mid-spring offering. There's some really nice patterns in here. So sizing, so you get 12 patterns included. Sizing, let me just double check, 6 to 30 on all of these. And if I turn it, maybe if I turn it round and come in, these are all the patterns that are featured in this month's one. And I will go in and show you some of my favourites. Right, let's start with the first one. This is called Dazzle. It is really great jersey pattern, a kind of oversized, I guess, kind of rugby shirt style pop over. You pull it over your head. I like the proportions of this, a kind of big boxy sleeve. I think it would be a really useful one. I actually like it how they've styled it here with it kind of on this side where they've got it rolled up. And then we have got it in a variation as a dress, which is also super cute. And I saw lots of these on the high street, so I think this would be a good kind of investment to make this one for spring. Also super comfortable. The next one we've got from them is called the Star, and this feels a little bit like the Anna Allen Andrea blouse, but kind of almost worn as a jacket. They've got it in two different fabrics. I'll show you the first one. So this is in a kind of very quite structured fabric. You can see the sleeve on that is kind of really puffed up. They've also got it on something that is a little less structured, which I think gives it a bit more drape, and you can kind of see there. But I thought that was a nice kind of spring piece, a good piece for your wardrobe. Then we've got this quite interesting sort of tailored sleeveless jacket, which I liked. If I come in, you can see a little bit more. But yeah, I like the kind of tabs at the side of this. I thought it was quite interesting. Again, a nice kind of layering piece. They've got a sweet little kind of top. I guess, I never know what to call it. It's almost like a kind of little puffball top. And actually there's quite a lot of this silhouette that runs through the patterns this time, that kind of bit at the bottom where you can see it adds that kind of shape. I like this because it's quite simple but kind of adds quite a sort of dramatic shaping. Then we've got, which is probably actually my favourite, is the Siren blouse. This is lovely. It's like a wrap blouse. Again, that's got that kind of, it wraps and ties at the bottom and then it creates that sort of slightly balloony feel which we had in that last top. I just think it's beautiful. I haven't really seen a kind of wrapped blouse before. There's another variation in a different fabric just to give you a bit more of an idea. Something a little less sheer. What else have we got that was really nice? There's quite an interesting pair. I would say the fabrication on some of these were a little out there. These trousers I like the look of. I think, just looking, I think they're slightly barrel shape in the leg. And they've made them in sort of quite a full-on, I guess it looks like a kind of taffeta. Yeah, but just, again, look at the shape if the fabrication is not for you. But yeah, I thought that was nice. And then a nice simple little wrap skirt that's really simple. They've got it styled, they've got it made in kind of quite a sheer fabric over a pair of trousers. There's a really lovely sleeveless jacket here as well called the Luna, which I thought would look great with lots of things. You can see here again that sort of balloony shape, with big kind of statement pockets. I thought this would be a great sort of layering piece for spring. There's also quite a nice dress, which I thought was quite interesting, a jersey dress. And you can see if I come in, there's some kind of cinching at the side, it's slightly off the shoulder. And they also have that cut off so that it is made into a top as well. So yeah, there's a few other that I've missed, but there's lots of good stuff in this one. So if you are thinking like a spring treat, definitely go and have a look and check to see if it's the right fit for you. Then we've got two amazing patterns from Ready to Sew. So the first one is called the Harold Vest. I love this. So inspired by Annie Hall, which when you see the pattern, you think, yeah, of course. Sizing on it is a UK 8 to 34. So let's have a look at the line drawing so we can see what is going on here. You can see that it's kind of quite, at the front, it's really traditional princess seams. There's pockets and there's all of the kind of things that you'd expect on a traditional waistcoat, buttons and buttonholes. The thing that is interesting about it is the back. So you can see here, it's sort of designed that you potentially use something that you already have. So the idea is that it's jersey or knitted. So potentially an old jumper that you've stained the front of, or something that you've shrunk, that you can use as the back panel. And I love that idea because it basically then makes it much more comfortable, because anyone who's worn a waistcoat before, that back panel is traditionally made out of a woven fabric, which is actually, I find, quite restricting, whereas this is going to give you so much more movement. I also just love the look of it. I think it's really interesting, and it just makes it feel much more casual. I just think it's such a clever idea. Absolutely love this. So if you haven't seen it yet, go and check it out. The next pattern from them is an absolute beauty. It's the hand shirt. Sizing on this is again a UK 8 to 34, and there are different cup options for it. So AB cup is for the smaller range and CD cup is for the larger range. Just make sure when you're purchasing to make sure you're getting the right size for you. Let's have a look at the line drawing. It's a real classic shirt. Really nice details include, it's got splits at the side, which I really like. The shaping around the back. The front is cut quite, it's got a little bit of curve, but it's fairly straight. Big pocket on the chest. It's just a kind of your classic shirt, and the proportions of it are really nice. It's designed to be quite boxy. I just love it. So if you are thinking about making a kind of classic shirt, please go and have a look at this one because it feels like a really good one. Then we have got an absolute beauty of a dress from Elle Stitch. It's called the Bobby dress. Sizing on this is a UK 6 to 30, and I think this is such a cool pattern. I love it. It's a really cool idea. So very simple shape, little strap dress. The interesting detail, if I show you the line drawing, is that it's got these two panels from kind of, so the front of the dress is cut flat, and then from here there is a panel sewn in which is gathered. And I just think this is such a clever shaping because it then makes the front of the dress sit a bit flatter, but you still get the gathering and the kind of, it basically feels quite roomy to wear. I just think it's really clever. It comes in two different lengths. At the back of the dress you can see there's a little bow detail on the straps, which is super cute. But she's also styled it, which I really like this first one, with a t-shirt underneath, so you could wear it quite a lot of different ways, or you could wear it with a long sleeve top now, and then as we move into summer you can then take that off. So it doesn't fit, it feels like if we made it now it'd be ready for sort of proper summer. Next up we've got a really sweet dress from Puff and Pencil. It's called the Boat Neck Dress and Tee. It's really nice, this one, because it when I first looked at it I was like, oh sweet, it's like a little t-shirt dress, but actually it's designed to be a woven fabric, which is quite interesting. So let's have a look at the sizing. It's a UK 6 to 24. If I show you the line drawing you can see, so it's really nice, got lots of detail on this dress. So it's panelled princess seams, that means that you can add a bit of shaping and get it kind of sitting perfectly. There's also little kind of little half dart at the bust as well. Boat neck, which is really lovely. It comes with sleeves as well, so you can add sleeves or not. And yeah, I just really like the proportion of it. I like that it flares out a bit but not too much. It just feels like a really lovely pattern. So if you haven't seen this yet and you're thinking like spring wardrobes, this one's definitely worth having a look at. Then we've got a great pattern from the Avid Seamstress. This comes in sizes UK 6 to 28. This is a really kind of useful pattern if you're looking for a kind of simple skirt. There are two different variations for this. So you can either make it as it's a kind of a panelled skirt, but you can also make it with a variant, a kind of puff ball variant, which means that you can see it kind of the seam kind of pulls it up inside and creates that kind of interesting bottom. I personally preferred the panel skirt variant, and if I show it to you, you can see what's going on. There's a seam that runs kind of 2/3 of the way down, which adds quite a bit of shaping into the skirt. There's also pleats at the top, you can see pockets, which is essential. It's just a nice shape, and it's something that I think that most people would find quite useful in their wardrobes. But yeah, the big pleats on the front are really nice, and they're sort of stitched down part way. It feels like quite a useful item for your wardrobe. Then finally, we've got two little, I guess, are kind of updates. Yeah, they are updates from Merchant and Mills. So the factory dress, they've added a boat neck edition. So you have to own the factory dress pattern. This is an add-on, and it doesn't come with a pattern piece. It comes with written instructions from turning it into this boat neck shape, which I love. I think it really makes the proportions pop on this dress. I think it's such a cool little hack. So yeah, if you've got that and you want to kind of give it a bit of a summer rezhuzh, then definitely have a look at that, because it's quite nice to have a kind of change of neckline, and I feel like it looks quite different actually. The other one they've got is the factory dress. Again, you have to own the factory dress pattern. This is just an add-on. It's free to add a gathered skirt, which I thought was really interesting actually, and again, this feels like a completely different dress. Again, it is not a pattern piece, it's just instructions on how to do it. So yeah, those are nice if you want to kind of, if you've got those patterns already and you feel like they need a bit of, like, I don't know, jazzing up a bit, it's quite nice to kind of inject a bit something new to something that you've already, like a tried and tested pattern. So that is it from me this week. I hope that was useful and you found something you like. I'll be back soon with another video. Have a lovely rest of your weekend. Bye.